Hello, everybody. We are back. We went away just for a moment, and we are back now with my mother, Cottage Creek.
Is that what my picture looks like?
Yes.
Oh.
She refused to do video today, so she's not doing video tonight with us.
Yeah. She said she didn't have her glam squad ready.
She didn't have her glam squad ready. Erin didn't do her job. But we've been putting it off long enough. We will be now covering the final episode 7 of Mare of Easttown.
Otherwise known as Murder.
Okay, Alastair. We know you really like that.
It's I keep on thinking about it all the time.
Light, because that's
we went to this. We talked about it today or earlier, the last episode that we went to the July Jam or whatever. I showed my mom. There's this video. There's a TikTok of a girl who's in the liquor store with some Bud Light, and she said, "Bud Light. What does that mean, bitch? You don't like it? Go home then."
It's much funnier if you say it.
No, I'm always gonna think of that now. Every time I drink Bud Light, I'm gonna say it to somebody. But yeah, but
they don't drink Bud Light on Mare. They drink
Rolling Rock. Everybody drinks Rolling Rock.
They drink a lot of beer though.
Yingling. It's Rolling Rock and Yingling. Yeah, they drink a lot of beer.
Yeah, I think so too. Mare needs it.
Yeah, she does need it. Damn, Kate Winslet is so good in this show.
She is so good.
She
plays her really well. And Mare's so high strung all the time.
But she's not even it's not even like overacting or over dramatic. She's just like everybody in this damn town looks exhausted at all times.
And they don't even drink.
They really do.
They don't even drink wine. Wine, I've realized recently, Jennifer, it makes me exhausted. I had one more for this morning. I slept the rest of the day. I was
yeah,
it's not a thing. It's not a thing anymore. But no, yeah, they do drink a lot. I felt like this final episode was almost a let's wrap this up kind of episode.
Well, they do. So shows do that sometimes, right? If they're not sure they're gonna have another season or not, they'll do an episode where it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like an epilogue episode. They'll have a lot of just epilogue-y things in it.
Well, yeah, like the first part, like the first third of this episode was like an actual finale, and then the other 2/3 are kind of like finishing it up with all the other characters with a twist.
There was a big twist in this. So at the last episode, at the beginning of this, is it the beginning? See, it's been a long time since we've hold on now, clap, baby. We just started recording on microphones, so the audio will change slightly for this part. But we just got to, they arrest, what is his name?
Nick?
It's been so long since we should have covered this, but we did.
John?
What do we
watch?
John. Yes, they arrested John.
John, thank you. I watched it.
They arrested Lori's husband, John, for the murder of Erin. Because it's been found out that those two were having an affair together. It's weird because what was Erin to John?
Well, Erin was his second cousin.
Okay,
because it was his cousin's niece, but it almost felt like he was the uncle. I don't know.
It felt more like an uncle, but
it
was
still like an uncle. But still, he's a relative, and still, he's way too old for her.
He murdered
and family
her
and
daughter.
Married with. It's just all bad.
Yeah, no, and she's a minor, so Lori even says that she's a minor and it's incest, and so there's big problems there and stuff like that. But
he even gave her a freaking necklace. It wasn't like it was like a one-time thing either. It was an actual legitimate affair. It was like,
and so. Mare goes out there and it's the beginning of this one, right? That she goes out there and she has that wrestling match with him and wrestles the gun out of his hand and he's like kill me, and she's like shit. She always looks like that. She's always like shit. Should have saved Jack when she had the chance.
Well, because the other guy tries to kill himself because basically the way it's been like put to him is that you're the person who has the least in life, and therefore you have the least to lose, and therefore you should be collateral damage. Yeah. And he's like willing to be collateral damage for his brother.
Well, and it's just crazy because so this happens.
I don't know if he really I'm not sure if he really thought that was going to happen, because we saw him see the gun in the tackle box.
I think he knew that his brother was going to try to kill him and that he was okay with it and he was ready to just die.
Well, he also knew that he was going to confess to the murder
right.
And we also have to kind of go into the twist a little bit in order to understand this part more, right? Is because we realize later, and we'll kind of go into this a little bit more later, but just mentioning it now, that the kid was involved. John's kid was involved. John's kid is the one who did it, and so everybody here, when knowing that by the end of the episode, it makes more sense why everybody's kind of acting the way they're acting.
And it's such a big realization. It's such a well because he asks his wife to take care of the kid.
Right,
and it's a big thing.
You got to be specific. Yes.
So the baby.
Aaron's baby.
Aaron's baby.
Yeah. He asks Lori to take care of Aaron's baby. At first, I'm like, why is she doing that? Like, the baby's already with a family that loves him, I think.
Right before he's going to jail, too. So, this beginning of this episode happened so fast. Everything was happening so fast that I was like, where the hell are they going with this? Because everything was just, they found out who the killer was. He got arrested. He got, charged and sentenced. And, everything was just moving really, really fast. So I was expecting something, but were you expecting the kid to have been the real killer?
No, I didn't expect that at all. I was very surprised about that.
I was surprised too, but I knew that there was something off when they'd asked John about the gun, and he didn't know what he was talking about.
Right.
And at that point, I was like, there's something slightly off about this. But they did give hints about the kid. However, those hints were super, I don't know, they were super in the foreground where, unless you maybe gave it a second or third rewatch, you probably wouldn't have noticed it.
I thought more the kid was knew something about this. And maybe that's why he was so upset. Because he knew something, and then they kind of they kind of point into that maybe he was acting like that because he knew his dad was having an affair, and then she goes and sees it's the dad's mistress, right? She goes to the mistress and she sees the mistress and she's like the mistress,
yeah,
hi Mare, and she's like, fuck you. And then it all kind of
what you did to Lori.
Yeah, it all kind of sets off from there because it just makes sense, And I don't know, it was very jarring and very shocking that it was the kid, because John, the kid had already been through an affair with his parents before. His parents his dad had already had an affair before, and it kind of messed up their family. And their parents separated, Lori and John separated, and so now he's having another affair, and he knows about it. The kid knows about it, and it messed him up a little bit, and so he got really angry and he wanted it to stop, and so he grabbed a gun from one of the people that he was mowing the lawns for, this guy that he was mowing the lawns for, and he went and took the gun to the park. It kind of he stole John's phone, and he went to the park and texted Aaron to meet him there, and he threatened her with the gun and then accidentally ended up shooting her. And so I get it was an accident. I think the big question here is, would you, because you're a parent, we're not parents.
We have a daughter and a son.
We got a dogter.
A dogter and
a dirter and a dun.
Dun? A dirter and a dun.
So stupid. But do you think that Mare should have let it go, because John's already in jail and prison at this point for this? Should she have let it go, or did she do the right thing?
Should she have done it also?
I just think that I get that we want to protect him and that everyone's trying to protect him, but I do think that he has to know that what he did was not okay. And just because you're mad at someone And I understand he was really, really mad at this girl for having an affair with his dad, but that was not justification for killing her. And so I do think that Mare did the right thing, but at the same time, she supported her friend along the way. So,
And
um,
her, yeah.
I mean, I hate that the dad and Aaron did that in the first place. That kind of traumatized the kid a little bit, but his actions also caused a child to not have his mother
And he
or
also,
father.
but like also, I see it more like John is the reason that all of this happened in the first place. John has
Right.
100% of blame, so why couldn't they just let him stay in prison and let him be the scapegoat for it all?
Well, he needs
Like,
to stay in prison because he
yeah.
was a part of it, and he was trying to protect his son. Even though he did something bad, he was trying to protect his son. But at the same time, I'm not saying the kid needs to get like life in prison. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he needs to have, needs to be some sort of accountability, because he needs to understand that there are actions with his or consequences for his actions. But I'm
Yeah.
not saying they need to go. I don't know what the answer is.
Well,
I
no,
just
I
don't think
and that
that we need
yeah.
to pretend like it didn't happen, because there's also probably trauma that comes along with that for him. You know what I mean? Like, he took someone's life.
Hmm.
He's going to think about that for the rest of his life. So he needs help.
And also, like, because he is a kid and he didn't, like, he did this, but he also, his brain isn't fully developed, right? So like he
Right.
wouldn't have the understanding or enough understanding for consequences, because when your brain is even that young, like, you're not understanding consequences and the permanency of consequences and stuff like that. And so I guess I kind of agree, because he has to be, somebody has to be able to teach him that, right? He has to understand consequence, and
Right.
you do that by learning. I guess if he would have just gotten away with it,
Well, it's
Well,
also
then he would just, I mean, I'm not saying he would do something else, because it's not that he's some awful child, but
yeah.
we don't know what's going to happen with him in the future because of all of this stuff that he's been through. So we don't know if he would rebel. And I mean, we're going down a really big rabbit hole, but
well, I think there's just so many factors that go into it, and I think that like, for him, that I think the big thing for the kid that I see is that he put all the blame on the family issues on Aaron. His thought was
right,
get Aaron out of the way, and
right,
then his family's going to be okay. And the
right.
fact is, it wasn't necessarily Aaron's fault. It was his father's fault, and he wasn't
wasn't
It
seeing.
Aaron's
wasn't
fault
her
at
fault
all.
at all.
Yeah, it wasn't her. Yeah, it wasn't her fault, and it was the father's fault, and he was seeing the
Right.
blame as her. And I think that's where I think his problem was, because he meant to threaten her. He did not mean to kill her, but he did.
Right.
And I do think he's at fault for that. I think he's definitely at fault for that. I think something definitely needs to happen because of it. And I think John is an incredibly crappy person, and deserves everything that's coming to him. However, I I I just felt for Lori the most in this
Oh, I did
episode.
too.
I didn't care
Right.
about the kid. I didn't care about John. I felt for Lori in this episode.
Right.
And the thing about the only reason why I would want to not make a different decision than what Mare did is where, like, Lori says, you're my best friend. You should have come to me. You should have talked to me, before doing that. And I felt that.
That's what I think.
that they should have kind of had a conversation about it. And I know that maybe isn't probably the best way to go about it, but I think that Mare owed that to Lori.
And Mare's also not the epitome of, like, moral standing, right? Like,
Yeah.
Mare did plant drugs in, her grandchild. What are you laughing at? Her grandchild's car, her mother's car. So, like, she's not, the best person in the world. So she could have gone to her friend first, sat down with her, and, like, I mean, the kid was in the house at that point anyway. Instead of showing up with a bunch of cops, show up first
Right.
down with her and say something, and have a talk with both of them. Hey, this is what's going to happen. This is probably what's going to happen from there. Like, sit down with everybody and do that, because I feel like it felt like a betrayal for Lori, didn't it? I would have felt a little bit betrayed.
That's where I felt the emotion from, and like I didn't feel the regret from the kid. Like, the kid carried on afterwards. I'm sorry, but the kid carried on. And,
I don't think that's fair, though. I don't think we saw enough.
well, I mean, we didn't see enough. I mean, yes, we didn't see enough, but I think that definitely, like, the emotional element comes from Lori at this point.
But we
Right.
already saw that. We already saw that from the kid. We saw that the kid had been struggling with this emotionally.
Earlier, we saw
Yeah.
that. And dad was,
Tell him to
talking
keep
to him
secret.
about the secret, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I thought it was something else. I thought there was child abuse involved when
And
he was
I
saying
thought that's
that.
what it was going to be too at first.
I was pretty sure Aaron's murderer was going to be her father. I thought her father was going to be like some abusive guy, and DJ was probably the father's kid, and like I thought someone was going to be something like
I
that.
think I might have
yeah.
thought that in the beginning, like in the first episode, maybe. But then at one point, I was convinced that Dylan did it.
Well, yeah, because like, this is a town
I still
of
don't like Dylan.
very gray, very also bad people. Like, at some point, I thought everybody killed him. Killed her. Sorry, the deacon,
Right.
her father, the cousins. Like, there's so many people who, that girl who was a bully. I forget her name, but she pushed her, and then Dylan. Like, there's
Right.
so many people that we went through, and I love that. I love the way the show is constructed, especially how, like, Mare has to, like, face everything that's going on in the town while being such an essential element of the town. You know,
Right.
she's friends with everybody. This
Right.
is her friends. These are her friends. These are her
the people she
family.
grew up with.
It's almost like incestuous in the way where she has to, like, interact with everybody, but also, be a person of the law. And it's hard to separate that. And I think that
Right.
creates such a
I think
huge
she does a
conflict inside of
really
her.
good job with that, though.
Yeah.
I think.
She does. I mean, in the last episode, she went the law first, and then.
But
her
I
friend.
just don't agree with that part. But I really do like Lori and Mare as friends. I think their friendship is so great, and such a special one to watch over the course of the show that. At the end, I was glad to see them, like Mare, be able to offer her that kind of comfort and
Right.
support when Lori, because Lori didn't cry throughout the entire show. She didn't cry.
Right.
She didn't break. She never she was always very stone faced as much as possible, and you could see it in her eyes. But she never allowed herself to break until that moment, and I
Yeah.
really
That
liked
got
Mare
me at the
could have been
end.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's crazy for Lori because for her, the way she looks at it is that her husband had cheated on her, and that was a huge like obstacle for their marriage. They'd gotten through it, and they're in a good place now. They're in a good place. Everything was going well in their lives. Maybe not everybody else's lives around them, but everything was going well in their lives. And then everything just got torn away from her.
And then that is
Everything that
just
she,
him.
everyone
Like,
she loved, got
it was
taken
just
away.
all of him, and now she's stuck at home. Her kid is in juvie. She's got this baby that's not hers. The baby
Right.
should have just stayed with Dylan's parents. Like, they could have just raised it as Dylan's brother.
Right.
Honestly, I don't
Or they could have
understand.
just raised it as their child. I mean,
Yeah.
people have foster kids that they adopt all the time, and they
Yeah.
could have just raised the child as their own. And, we adopted this child. It didn't even have to be that it was Dylan's, just their mom and dad to the child.
Because they loved the kid. They loved the kid, and I think it put a lot of extra burden on Lori to have to do that when it didn't feel necessary. It didn't. Yeah, it did not feel necessary.
Speaking of kids, one other thing that kind of got resolved in here was the custody dispute between Mare
Right.
and her.
I felt so awful for that girl too, because she really I liked that they showed that she really was trying. That his mother really was. What is the kid's name?
Oh my gosh.
We really do like the show.
It's like
guys.
on the tip of my tongue.
But the kid's mother,
Ah.
we really like her grandchild's mother. She really was trying, and I was rooting for her too. And then there was the scene where, with the bathtub. I don't remember if that was this episode or the last one, but where she was just so tired and she was falling asleep, and her kid
Oh,
was in the
yeah.
bathtub. I was like, freak, man. Like,
Right.
Because she's working so many jobs. Because like, I do know like I know a lot of people who've had custody issues, and for most states, I don't know about the state of Pennsylvania, but for most states, like you definitely have to be financially secure. You have to have a safe place for the kid to come home to. They have to have their own stuff. Like there has to be a lot of things in place for you to gain back that custody.
what is it in Texas? Do you know
Well,
what the
I mean,
rules are?
every case is different, but I mean, I don't really work for CPS, but every case is different. Typically, if you have a child that was removed because of drugs, maybe the parents would have to go to parenting classes for sure and complete it. They would have to do some sort of drug and alcohol rehab, depending on how bad it might be, inpatient or outpatient. We don't know. They would probably have to have a place to live. But I mean, they would have to have a place to live. Like they can't be homeless. But I have seen some families live with other family, like grandparents or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think as long as there's a safe roof over their head where, you know, the people, if there's other people that live there, a check done on them would come back clean. But
It's just always so like, just hard, right? That's just a hard situation because,
Right.
like, you know, best case scenario, she would be clean and she would get her son back, and like all would be good and happy.
But and that's best case scenario for her, but then not the best case scenario for everybody else. And then it's like
I really wanted
complicated.
Mare to let her come in and live with them, and kind of help her out, and maybe form a bond with her and have some sort of transition where, you know, she could see his routine and like.
right.
Like be there. I feel like that because her son. I thought that's kind of where they were going to go because her son is gone. Her son killed himself. And by the way, they tried to like build up that she was such an awful mother, but I never saw that. I saw the son being like so awful to her.
I think it was
yeah.
she couldn't cope emotionally with stuff. I think that was the only thing. But and I know her son had his own issues, but I don't know. But for Helen, her mom, Jean Smart, I love the way that Helen went around it, saying, you know, she would bring Carrie, his mother, over, you know, to see his routine and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Carrie was like, "Why are you helping?" You know,
And she
Yeah.
said
with this?"
it's not for you. It's like it's
Right.
because we don't want to be out of his life. We want you to like
Well,
not
yeah,
just cut us out. You know.
and that he wants there to be a routine so that, you know, like
Yeah.
this stuff doesn't get cut out of
But
his
and she
life.
didn't seem like the type of person that was going to just cut them out, right? Like she seemed.
Yeah, but
like
you
this is-
just, you don't know.
you don't know. But
She
this
did
is
that
why-
flashback.
Well, this is why I liked her, is because she was on drugs and like that, and just it does make you like a whole different person. And I think it did. They did such a good job with showing that she was a great character who wasn't just doing things out of a selfish motive. She like just wanted her son. She wanted to be better. She wanted a better life for herself as well. And then at the very end, she just realizes that she doesn't have the capacity to do it. You know, she isn't clean. She's like very honest and upfront about it. And she's like, "I'm sorry."
Oh yeah, that she was checking into
Yeah.
rehab right after that. She got him
Right.
a present.
Which was huge on her part.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
such a
Right.
great thing for her to do, to be honest about that.
And hopefully they'll be able to build a more honest relationship
Gosh,
without
we need a season 2. I'm way too invested in these people's lives.
without people planting drugs on her.
Well, I
hopefully.
think that we need a season 2 because of what you were saying about Mare. The fact that everyone talks about what a crappy mother she was and how much her son hated her and blah, blah, blah. But we didn't ever really see that. We saw the one interaction with him when he was alive, and it wasn't a good one. So if you look at that, that's more, you know, traumatic
That
for
wasn't-
her,
yeah,
not
that
for him.
wasn't
So
really-
I think that what Alastair said is, I think she was probably very emotionally unavailable And I think if you go back and you look at her history, you know, they referenced her dad and his mental health. Her dad killed himself.
Yeah.
Her son was a drug addict. She obviously had some sort of, so we don't know. We just don't know. So I feel like if they did another season, maybe they could look a little bit more into that.
Yeah. Because it's worth exploring, because this is the reality of a town like this,
Yeah.
right? And like we even saw it with Freddie and his sister Beth earlier. Like that really like hurt me, that they knew that he was probably dead inside the house because he'd been in there for 3 days and never came out.
Right.
And like Mare had to come and like that really broke my
Right.
heart.
Right.
Because
And
that
that, and
tied
that
right
she
back to
found
the
him. And
first
that's
season,
just
the
now
first
part
episode.
of her job and part of who she is as she's following in her dad's footsteps. And it's probably just difficult for her because she's not a feely kind of talk about my feelings kind of person. And then we look at the daughter.
Yeah. Who wants
And-
to? Who wants to talk about things, right? And she is of this sort of generation that we're much more open about talking about stuff like that, and like it's only going to get more open as the generations keep coming, right?
Right.
But Mare's not from a generation like that. Mare it just isn't like that. I'm assuming she didn't learn that from her mother.
Right.
And I liked that she didn't, even after the daughter, you know, came clean and was like, you know, you should have been the one to find him, and like, you know, had her big emotional outlet. I'm glad that Mare didn't immediately like have that moment with her, you know, because
Right.
that's not realistic. That Mare wouldn't do that just immediately. It would still take Mare a bunch more time, and we really only see her starting to scratch the surface at the very end of this season finale when she opens up that attic door.
Right.
In therapy, this is the first time she actually goes through therapy, and I think has a modicum at least of success for her and her journey. And really, the therapy really amounts to the fact that she hasn't properly mourned her son's death.
Yeah.
And her son's death is incredibly complicated for her, because
Yeah.
for her, he hated her, you know, right before.
But we
he-
don't really know why.
I agree. Exactly. I really needed to see that. I think that is the one scene, the one flashback maybe that they could have shown, because all we saw was her desperate to keep her money from her son so that he wouldn't go use again, and him
Right.
like in the throes of addiction. So obviously he's not acting the best towards her. We don't see their reaction where maybe he was off drugs, you know, as a teenager or something like that, and how she sort of was as a mother.
Right.
I don't think that was the best flashback to show, because we got that they were addicts. We understood that already. But I didn't understand how she was a bad mother.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping there is another season because also it didn't really talk too much about. I mean, I'm assuming her marriage fell apart because of her lack of communication after the boy died. So I don't know. I just had a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, and maybe that is it. Maybe it's the implication of like an emotional unavailability that
Right.
she has, but it just would have helped to have seen a little bit of that.
Right.
And it's funny because I think this show is a lot about families and intersecting families, and also like generational, like even motherhood, because you know you have her mother that's living under her roof, her, and then her daughter, and you
Right.
see that difference of generation. And even Helen talks about like the fact that she regretted like not being more open previously,
Right.
you know, and actually having these conversations. Whereas like I see the relationship, and I think they have a really good like mother-daughter relationship, but it's also one of those that has like emotional verbal barbs,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of don't let them get close to what they're really talking about, you know, because they're just
Right.
making fun of each other all the
Right.
time. Yeah.
And I think that's what the show did such a great job with, is kind of showing, because we didn't just see Mare and her family, we saw everybody's families in this. You know, every time there was a character in there, there was at least 2 or 3 family members that we saw of theirs.
Right.
You know, Dylan, we saw his parents and how they kind of were, which didn't really make sense to how he is, but you know, we are supposed to infer that there was some sort of just disconnect there, that he ended up the way he ended up. His Dylan's girlfriend, so there was something with her and her parents. You know, her parents probably weren't a bunch, you know, super emotional people either. And I loved that about this town. I loved because I feel like I know this town now.
I just really like it when dramas are gray, where like, you know, Aaron's father was a bad father.
Yeah.
He might have even been a bad person, but he wasn't a murderer. I like when they when you have characters who are good people who do bad things, or characters who are bad people and also do good things, and you're able to see that grayness. And that's actually one of the reasons. Like, I think that if you really liked this show, you'd also really like a morning show on Apple TV.
Have you seen the morning show?
No.
You should watch it. You like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah,
you would really
like it. And I that's another show where like it's full of gray characters who really need to self-examine like what's going on.
Because that's how people are, right? We did a lot of, so we were at my mom's this past weekend, and we did a lot of talk about, like, you know, just because, like, A and B don't have to be just like, you know, on their own. Both cannot be true. I think we used that statement a lot this weekend. It's like both can be true. It's just a bunch of different things we talked about, but like both can be true, you know?
Right.
You can be a bad person and be a murderer, and not be a murderer. Both can be true. So, and I like that.
You can be a good person and do a really crappy thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was really, I don't know. I fucking love the show though. I loved it.
I did feel like it was real. I felt like there was just a lot to it. There was a lot of layers, which I really like. I love Kate Winslet. I don't know. I just like it. I feel like got to find the next one.
When is morning show coming? Yeah, we should look that up because we should watch.
I think it's.
Is it coming soon?
Look it up.
If it is, you should watch that because it's Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. You should watch that, and then we can cover season 2 when that comes out.
It's my favorite thing Jennifer Aniston's ever done, honestly.
I think so.
Let me see when it's coming out. But what was I going to say? I don't know if Kate Winslet would be about doing another one because she seems somebody who likes to really just like go and act different, you know, characters. I think she's somebody. I don't know if she'd want to be settled into one character for multiple seasons.
Did you by chance watch the making of it after you finished watching all the episodes? You should watch that. That was really good too. And because Kate Winslet talks about, like, apparently Kate Winslet brought like so much to the role, like she would like just little things, and I mean that's what an actor does, right? But it was really interesting to hear how her sort of process was and how they would
go to Wawa's.
How everybody got the
their accents.
Got the accent. It was all in the O.
All in the O, and then they would like they got all of their clothing from like Goodwills and stuff like that.
Their clothing,
and they like wore it down themselves. Yeah. And they worked on the accent like again and again and again. And they took pictures of
the amount of British and Australian people in this show. Shocked. Shocked.
It's always crazy. But they took pictures of like people in like Wawas and different places, in, like small Pennsylvania towns, to try to like dress like them and like have their kind of posture and stuff like that. I think you can tell.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Just like,
well, yeah, like
everybody's tired, Mom. Everybody's tired.
Even Mare holds herself, I think, in a different way than Kate Winslet obviously usually holds herself. Well, yeah. And I think that, like, understanding that dynamic, and I think that the costuming was done amazing. I think that the sets were great. I think the sets were super believable.
Yeah.
And I felt like they, I don't know, I think they did awesome.
Season 2 is going to be, right? Jen of Browntown.
I don't understand.
Jen Garcia of Brownwood.
I better start taking pictures at the Stripes.
She goes to the park, finds the missing cats, and she's we're gonna find out what happened here. And Erin's in her room. Erin's like, "You never talk about the cats. What about Key?"
So the morning show season 2
September 17th.
Premieres September 17th.
Do you have an Apple account? If you don't, we'll give you ours and you can go watch it. You should start that this week though. Huh. You'd get so addicted. I bet you. Yeah, I bet you'd really like it. But,
if you needed me to put that app on your TV, just let me know.
Yeah, we'll do it next time we're there. You put. She didn't know she had HBO Max, Discovery Plus, nothing.
Stop. That's not fair. Because we even talked about that tonight. We sat down, turned on the TV. Like, look, I swear we did not have the option to even put HBO Max on there. It was not there. Why are you
She
laughing,
just-
Alastair?
she's-
It was not there anywhere.
The
And so
amount
we
of
would
times
always,
that he's
if we
laughed
wanted to
about
watch
this.
HBO Max, we would have to go in our bedroom. And so we thought maybe it was just because it was a newer TV and maybe this one in here needed an update. I don't know. So, and then y'all sit down and it's already there.
It's there. It was there.
It worked. I think the TV you guys have in the living room is a beautiful TV.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a
wonder where you
gorgeous
got that
TV.
Uh-huh.
So
We got them that TV because you should have
No.
seen the other TV.
We
The
still have that
screen,
TV,
it didn't even
and
show
is
the whole
fine.
screen. It didn't even show the whole screen. She didn't even realize it until she got the new TV. And then she was like, oh yeah, there's letters there. There's supposed to be letters in that corner.
I still don't think, no. We still have that TV.
yeah, it's in.
I know. Whose bedroom
Aaron's
is that one
room,
in?
I
It's
think,
in Aaron's
right?
room.
Oh,
I tried to
poor
give her a
Erin.
different one, but she likes it.
It's not a bad one, but I mean,
You're supposed to
we're-
be able to see the
but-
whole picture like you see us right now, not just my eyeball. You're supposed to be seeing all of us.
That was our first flat screen TV
I know.
that we
Back-
bought
way
when we
back
lived in
when.
Alabama.
I know. Why did it last till 2017?
It still works.
we watched Big Brother on that, and we were like, they need a new
Dude,
TV.
I had a box TV for the longest time, and I carried it up and downstairs a couple times too. And then I got a flat screen right before I went to college. It wasn't even a big flat screen. It was like normal size flat screen or whatever. But I had like noodle arms, so I couldn't carry it either. And I remember having to, because I had to move out of my dorm by myself, and I had to carry it from my dorm all the way out to the parking lot. And I was like struggling. I had to stop a couple times. People stopped and asked if I needed help, and I said no.
With your TV,
Yeah,
it wasn't
Well,
even
the-
that big.
I could not carry
well,
it.
those tube TVs used to be so heavy. Like these TVs, we have like a 55-inch that I mounted myself. Like easy, I mounted it myself because you were surprised. Shut up. But like I can move these flat screens like easier. And I remember we used to have like a big tube TV, and it would be like three of us like carrying
I
this
don't know
TV.
how we the one that the big ass one. Do you remember the gray one? The big gray one. It was tall
Yeah.
and it was a box. How the hell did we even move that around?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember.
That's why everybody's back.
They just-
That's why everybody has back problems nowadays.
That's why everybody feels like they're in Mayor all the time. They're in Easttown.
But maybe
y'all
we should
can't
put this
make
out
fun
as
of
a
my
single Mare
TVs.
episode, Mare of Easttown finale episode.
Well, what about it?
Maybe we should just put this out as a single.
I think
Mare
that's what
Easttown
we're gonna do.
finale
We're not gonna
episode.
do the other topics for this one because I think this was fun.
Yeah, I think this is good, and it saves us up for other stuff.
So y'all
even
talked
though-
about the July Jam.
We talked a little bit, yeah, on our
Oh.
live. Yeah, we talked about how we took our gay pride out onto the dance floor, danced,
Yeah,
in front
you
of all
did.
the straights,
in front of
You
all-
did?
Yep.
and then we saw Conor McGregor break his ankle.
Oh,
Oh gosh, that was brutal. I still see it in my head, and I'm like, oh gosh.
yeah.
No, but Mare though, Mare was very like. I thought
You know, she would have been sitting back by the bushes in like a folding chair, smoking on her vape during the July Jam,
Well, you know, before we
she-
watched it,
or she would.
She would have been them people next to us.
Probably would. Somebody, you know what? It would have been the moment somebody would have brought her onto the dance floor and she has her fun moment finally. And that would be like the season finale.
That man that danced to the Johnny Cash.
He was waiting all night for some Johnny Cash. And out of nowhere, dance floor cleared. And this older man with a cowboy hat jumped his ass up and ran out onto that dance floor.
Danced all by
oh,
himself.
it was
for a long
good. It was
time.
good.
Yeah, I was all
It was
about
so
it.
funny.
I like that. Does Brownwood usually do stuff like that?
I mean, that's the
seems
first
like they're
thing
trying to
I've
get
ever
more
been.
of
It's. I
Small
read
thing.
that they did like a Cinco de Mayo thing,
Hmm.
and so then they did this, and then next weekend, I guess that thing I sent y'all.
A true crime and dinner night.
Yeah.
Well, which is actually so. I have duty that day that you sent it. I don't know. I think Bailey might be coming over that weekend.
He's
I'm not
coming
sure.
on Friday. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
But
Mm-hmm.
what was I gonna say? Well, I had something to say.
I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we did cut you off.
I don't remember what
That's
I was gonna say.
Bitch, you don't like it. Go home then.
No, I had something legitimate to say.
Real legitimate. Hey, you know what I'm looking at right now?
What?
Alastair's mouse to his computer.
Oh my! She stole it. He's been saying all day. Your mom stole my mouse.
You left it. We just saw it today.
She probably
Left
plugged it.
it.
Do you have it plugged into the computer?
I don't want it. I have a mouse.
She's probably,
Really? Because so okay, so I bought that mouse. It's a really nice mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then every time I'd come home to use my computer, guess where the mouse would be?
Brando.
On Zachary's computer.
Oh, so it's a good one then?
So
I might like it.
I finally said,
You know you're convincing her, right? She's gonna keep it.
I finally said, freak it. I'm gonna buy another one, and I bought Zachary his own
buy
mouse.
another one.
That's exactly
buy
the
another
same.
one.
Well, you're gonna have to buy one now because it looks like I don't know
Are
when
you
y'all
using
might
it?
come
Well,
back.
we can't see anything, Cottage Creek. Are you showing us? Because we can't see it.
Hey, it's been a long day.
You know, everybody's gonna go follow the Cottage Creek account now. They're all gonna be like Cottage Creek.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna talk about.
What?
Mare of Easttown. I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be about either a. I thought it was weird. I was like, why are they calling it Mare of Easttown? Because you know how they spell mare is how you spell like a mare for like a dog.
horse.
No, horse, a horse. And I was like, this is
Horse.
weird. Is she like the bachelor of the town? They're just calling Mare of Easttown. That's weird. Or is she also the bachelor of the town and also the mayor of the
Where
town?
is this coming
Is this a
from?
play on words?
Alastair, why is your spitting coming from your mouth? You've impassioned.
I thought it was a weird way to name a show. But I don't know. I listened to some people who really liked it, and I was like, oh, I might. Actually, I thought Zachary would really like it.
Oh, I knew I was gonna like it. I knew I was gonna like it, but I had to be in the mood for it.
Well, the thing is, Zachary's never in the mood for anything, so I have to just put
Okay, well.
So I just have to put it on, and if he stays for more than 10 minutes, he's interested. But if he goes off to go somewhere else, then he's just definitely not interested.
But does he ever watch something that he's not interested in?
No.
Just because you might like it, so he would watch it with you.
Well, actually, maybe some of the Marvel stuff, but I think
Oh.
that in hindsight, he is interested in it, just not as much as I would
watch
be.
whatever you want me to watch with you. I sit down and I watch it with you.
Yes, he watches it with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
The amount of shows I have to watch for him,
well, because
and
I
he
like
gets mad. He's like,
He likes
that
to
was
show
only
his shows.
and that's
He showed
fine,
me a show.
and that's fine. But then when I try to get him to watch all my horror movies and stuff, he's always
What
like,
show did I show you?
He's always like, it was just one show, and I'm like, yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes.
Oh,
Alastair.
mine was a movie. It was what was the movie?
Princess Diary. No, wait.
No, it wasn't Princess
The
Diary.
Princess
and the
Bride,
Business
Princess Bride.
Hustler.
The
Princess
Princess Bride. That's right.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
and I'm glad you liked it. Well, I like shows, Zachary, and I don't. Okay, so I'm a mood reader, but I don't think I am kind of a mood watcher, but I just like to watch new things. Like today, Jennifer. So the show that took Mare of Easttown's time slot is called White Lotus.
I think you might like that one.
You might
Okay.
like it. I'd watch the first episode and see if you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It just came out yesterday. Well, Sunday. It came out on Sunday. It's good, I think.
It's about a bunch of people at a hotel.
It's about a bunch of rich people, like super VIP rich people, who go to a hotel in Honolulu. And it's about the staff having to meet their needs and stuff like that.
Oh, I think I would like that.
Yeah.
Watch Morning Show first, though. I'd like to cover Morning Show on here. So
It was really good.
See, I'm a multi-watcher. I always have lots of things going on.
I know
I
we
watch
got
so many
there,
shows a week.
and she's like, Charles
you
Manson. Have you
should-
ever heard of Charles Manson?
You should be on our Black Widow review.
She does not want to watch no Black
She's
Widow.
a multi-watcher, Zachary.
She's a multi-watcher, multiverse
I mean,
watcher.
what I mean is I watch a lot of shows at the same time. So I could do
All her
both of
TVs
those
in
shows.
one room. Just all her TVs.
No, but what I'm
And I
saying
said, Mom, I can't concentrate. And she said, bitch, you don't like it. Go home.
is, no, but I watch like on Monday, I'll watch or I listen to because I listen to my TV more than I watch it. So on Mondays, I listen to my 90 Day Fiance. Then I mean, I just have something going all the time because I have a lot of shows that I watch. So There. I could watch those two shows at the same time.
You got to keep up with the times. Oh, so it should have dropped today, by the way. The
I've been watching
Love Island.
I haven't found it.
Oh, I didn't see
It's
it
supposed to
either
drop
yet.
on Hulu today.
Well,
For
we'll have to
us?
look, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
She don't know where
for
the Hulu
US.
app is. She's got to find the Hulu app. She's
Oh,
been looking,
shut
she said.
up. Shut
I've
the
been
hell
looking,
up.
but she can't find it.
I don't know why you make fun of me.
I don't know. We'd FaceTime her, but it just says Cottage Creek. We can't even see it. We'd
You know
help her out,
what?
but we
You
can't
don't
see nothing.
understand my day.
I
You
had
know
to- I
what
had to
today
watch 5
was?
shows today.
Monday.
No,
Right.
What is today?
My
is it-
Monday.
Oh, yeah.
It was my Monday, and it was my first day.
First day back?
Well, first day back to work after the weekend, yes, but then my first day doing something else.
Oh, yeah,
It was really
it was.
hard. So
Yeah.
it's
Which,
been a
you know
rough
what?
day. So
Well,
give me a break.
Congrats to you.
Well, at least you got to talk about Mare of Easttown. So
You did. You did. You can be just like her. You need a vape and go.
I would say
I
channel.
don't want to vape.
I cracked the hell up every time I saw her walk out.
Did she have a vape, Mare?
Yes.
She did?
Yes.
I didn't even see that.
I don't know how you didn't see that.
I
She
don't
got it
know.
every damn day. She walks up to Evan Peters' mother's door and she
I just thought it was cold over there.
arresting the little boy. We gotta take him. You gotta take him, Laura.
Oh, Evan Peters' mother was so upset.
Yeah. But we'll go ahead and stop chatting everybody's ear off now.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for listening in with us. We finally delivered the season finale of Mare of Easttown for y'all.
Was this delivery or DiGiorno? Who
Delivery or
knows?
DiGiorno, I don't know. Maybe even Franchetta. But yeah,
Totino's Pizza Rolls.
let us know if you'd want us to cover the morning show. That would be a good one, I think. But
It's a Wawa
I guess we'll see.
sandwich.
And y'all are
Yes.
going to give me a password and username?
Shit, I don't know. She can't.
For
she's not gonna
for
find
Apple
it.
TV?
Yeah.
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 For whatever you're watching it on.
I'll send it after this.
Okay.
Is
And don't go change it because you changed passwords. Like one time you changed the Audible password when I was in the middle of listening to a book.
Well, guess what? That's never me. It's always Zachary. He changed the passwords to all my accounts, and these are my
Yeah.
accounts. You know,
Hours. Audible is hours.
Okay, yes, but it started out with me, right? And then I can't like do stuff, and then I go to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I changed all the passwords."
And then she comes to me and she's like, I need you to tell me the password, but you're going to get a code. And so I have to text you to get the code. And I have to send it to her. We're just trying to listen to Malibu Rising, but then I log on and listen to Malibu Rising and it says you have 3 minutes remaining. And I'm like, holy shit.
I need to finish Malibu Rising.
You do
You
need
went
to
through it
finish that.
fast.
It was good. Do you like it?
I like it so far. I'm actually really liking it so far. But I'm not in the mood for it.
I like Sundown Motel. I'm going to finish that
But
one.
see, that's what
Well-
Zach does. He'll say, I want you to listen to this. Go listen to this book. I got it in Audible, ready to go. Go listen to it. And then I listen to it and I get done. And I'm like, where are you at? Well, actually, I'm listening to this other.
Well, y'all had a book club for a hot second.
We still
Yeah, you
all
see how that
y'all.
still
worked
kind
out.
of do. Still
And
kinda do.
it ended up just being you and Zach at the end. And then
Yeah.
you, I think you have a book club by yourself now, Jennifer.
I do. I would like
you
a,
don't like
I
it,
like a
log
book
off then.
club. I like a book club. I think it's neat.
Well, we'll have to do another one. You
Yeah,
get to pick the next one, so we'll do that.
Y'all
handmade
should have done.
one.
Y'all should have done with Final Girls.
No, she wouldn't care about that. She wants to do the Testaments.
You liked Grady Hendrix, the vampire novel, right?
The Southern Guide
Book club?
to Killing Vampires or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
So he's putting out another one
His new
tomorrow.
book's tomorrow comes out, but we'll do the Testaments first.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, we are logging off now. Thank
Okay.
you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for checking us out. Thank you so much, Cottage Creek, for joining us in this episode. We'll let you say bye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Zach. Bye, Alastair.
Bye.
I'm going to log off right now with this
Bye,
new
bye,
mouse
bye.
I got.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.